Okay, I have 7 o'clock straight up. Calling the town council meeting to order, and we'll have a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, council, we have approval of the April 26, 2022 public hearing meeting minutes. And we required to take them.
I make a motion, we accept the public hearing minutes.
I'll second that.
There's been motioned and seconded to approve the approval of April 26, 2022 public hearing minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And next on the agenda, we have approval of the April 26, 2022 regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion that we accept that.
I second it.
Okay, it has been motioned and seconded to approve the April 26, 2022 regular meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We also have approval of the May 3rd, 2022 special meeting minutes.
I make a motion, we accept the May 3rd, 2020 special meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, it has been motioned and seconded to approve the May 3rd, 2022 special meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is unfinished business, the TIB Fifth Street bid authorization form. The action is required, and according to the sheet that I have here, Mr. Nelson strongly recommends that the council approves the bid award form so that it can be executed if we're going to get this out to bid soon. Prices are definitely getting higher by the week. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the bid authorization form for the TIB Fifth Street.
I'll second that.
This is a bit about, do you know if Steve's checked where those rotten pipes are yet? Because Paul said last week.
I don't have any information on that. This is just concerned with the,
We do.
We're just basically approving it, but they're not gonna go ahead with it until we find out what's going on with the pipes and stuff. We're not gonna,
Yeah, that's
we're just
what-
approving
yeah.
the bid, but we're not gonna throw any asphalt down until we figure out
Good, yeah.
a bunch of stuff has to be done.
Joe and
before then.
Stephen went out and they found new pipes. They eyeballed it and found new pipes.
And they found the old stuff? Or,
They-
you know, where it was?
there wasn't any,
Isn't there no other? Joe visited with CWE and reported that Stephen Thompson and him did a visual of Fifth Street sewer and water lines last week, and they found new pipes.
They found new pipe?
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to query that, because how can they find that if they don't look? You can't do it by visual. You have to know what's under the ground. But I mean, yeah, we got approved the.
okay,
Bid,
the bid has to go out, whether,
right.
yeah, I'm not.
But they're not gonna do any work until we find out
Yeah.
more on as far as, they're gonna have to dig up all the lines or what.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the motion?
All right.
Aye.
Well,
I said aye.
okay.
Oh.
The motion has been
Must be
approved.
forceful.
The sewer line issues have reset emails to the town attorney. We have not received any news back yet. Henry has researched sewer line ordinances across the state, large and small cities and towns. They all state the same. Private is the homeowner to the municipality main line. Public, the municipality takes care of. Should be of a certain grade and size of pipe designated for sewer. Okay. The pre-dump day, it was we haven't received the tonnage yet, but the dollar amount that it cost the town of the successful day. So we're waiting that when it comes in. On the credit card note, waiting on the next step to follow from Armada, their credit card capabilities for the office. May 5th, Ferguson Waterworks technician Zach came and spent the day still analyzing and solving some of the problem areas of the meter and the handheld device and the computer programming communicating with each other. Cagney, Brandon, and Stephen will be reporting back to Zach on any more issues that they discover. Shut-off notices will be going out for those who are 60 days overdue. Okay, IACC. You have, Council, you have the flyers and information in your packets concerning that. Let Barbara know if you are interested in attending. Okay, that is the mayor's report. Next on the agenda is the Finance Committee report. Myra?
I make a motion that we approve the warrant check register from 4/26/2022 to 5/9/2022 in the amount of $48,909.70.
All right, I'll second that.
Okay, it has been motioned and seconded to approve the finance report of the warrant and check register. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion, any opposed? The motion is passed.
I make a motion that we pay the outstanding invoices dated 4/18/2022 to 5/4/2022 in the amount of $23,720.66.
Second that.
Okay, Mike, did you second that?
Yes.
It has been motioned and seconded that we approve the outstanding invoices. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay. All right, and poll the council, starting with Mr. Robert Dew.
Where do I start? Okay.
Uh-oh,
Oh.
got the list.
Okay, 105 East 5th, in the alley, there's a sinkhole, beginning of a sinkhole. That's probably 12 inches, maybe 2 foot down. Only so big, but I think that definitely needs to be looking at right away. I mean, the last one we had, the lorry sunk in it.
Right.
That just, Mike Doyle's started off with a little hole and then the whole truck went. So that was definitely needs looking at.
What was that address on that again?
That's 105 East 5th,
6th,
5th,
6th.
6th, sorry, 6th.
What was it, 5th or 6th?
6th.
All right, gotcha.
That's my mind, that's pretty on it,
Okay. Mr. Dew, did you happen to note that, the addresses were up on the buildings?
yeah.
Okay.
And I got also some other stuff here.
Okay,
This is I have brought this up before, okay, this is the corner of 5th and S. Okay, I'm on the corner, what happens, you have the, I guess they're spray lorries, they're huge, huge. So when they come up there, they have to go right out like that, over to the neighbours, up on their lawn to get around, okay? What that's doing is damaging the road really badly. Half of them don't stop, okay? Now there's a turnoff out there, it used to be like this. Now it's like that, because I keep checking on it. Sometimes I have to put the lid back. If there is an emergency, you're not gonna be able to turn that valve off. When you put the key in, now you've got to go down on the slant like that to pull it in. We would be stuffed if that, if that's keep being allowed. Not only that, now when I was working for the town, I put a sign up there, children playing. I don't know why on that corner, children are always playing there, and we've had some real near misses. So not only is that damage to the children, the trucks, my fence has been knocked over 2 times. I had to chase after him. First time the guy never felt the bump. He didn't know he'd done it, but I had it on camera, luckily. They can still do that with a little child, okay? Now, what it is on there, the kids are playing there all the time. When the lorries come by and they go on, and they take this cut, they're actually breaking the law because they're going on. I know it's only gravel, but that's classed as a sidewalk. Okay, it's a public sidewalk. That's a gross misdemeanor for them to drive on there. And this needs to be brought up, perhaps at another meeting, I don't know, but I'll maybe start today so we can.
Okay,
Yeah, well,
people violating the ordinance, or not the ordinance, but the street,
Yes.
doing that. I would presume that needs to be brought to the attention of the sheriff. We'll see what we can do for our part in it as a town. But, there's violations being made, then I would think that the police need to be informed of it, and so that they can do something to stop that from occurring.
Stop it occurring. And that's
Right.
also the thing that, when the lorries go around it, when they go over the other side, the neighbour can't unload stuff from her front house. They say, no, you can't park your car there. That's her street, she lives there, That don't make sense to me. But yeah, not only are they breaking the law, that is damaging the road badly.
Okay.
And I think probably this could be a revenue for the town at a little later date. I have drawn up plans to present to the mayor for later on. Okay, the other thing is, we have what would they call it, a town blade for leveling alleyways, what the previous mayor bought us. You talk behind the John Deere, basically.
Right.
You go up the alleyways and what it does, it chops off the lumps and it levels it.
Is it like a scraper box?
Scraper box, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a brand new one.
Is that the orange box that used to set out by the public shop forever?
Yes. I don't know if the town still has that. But that's a
Well, we can definitely check and see.
But if that could
But
be
you're
done-
right, I have not seen that.
that's a nice piece of equipment. You tow it with a tractor, then once that's chopped level, so to speak, then you go on, you gravel it with the trucks. A lot of the alleyways do need this now.
Okay.
You're getting sinkholes, you're getting big, even in the winter, I talked to the big man, what do you call him, garbage man. He was having a job getting up there, his truck was sliding everywhere because of the lack of gravel in there, it just turned to mud.
Yeah.
And to answer, the answer, do we still gravel and look after public? Outside the people's houses, we used to gravel. When they got gravel the alleyways, just keep it nice, basically. It doesn't seem to be done anymore.
That's the question.
If we had.
We can ask and see if it's in the budget and, how it can be done.
Also, I did say before, I think it was a couple of years ago, about a mesh, it's a plastic mesh. It's 10 cents a square foot. What you do, you put it in areas where there's a slope. You peg it down, you put your gravel over the top, you don't lose gravel anymore, it stays with wood.
Okay, what size is the mesh?
It varies, you can go from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, depending on what size gravel you're gonna put in, whether you put 3/4 all in, or pea gravel,
Yeah.
or whatever. You know, and that's a proven thing, that would save the town a lot of money in the long run if we aren't still gravel, which we need to do anyway.
Right. Okay. I have found on that slope of mine that, putting any size gravel on it, it's a waste of time and effort, because it just walks down the hill.
Yeah, see, this,
I put, fabric underneath it, and
it still
it
does.
still does it. So,
Yeah, well, this mesh will hold that in place, they had it in England years ago, I actually took pictures to show you all, so I was,
So what are you're saying you're wanting to put mesh down on all the alleys in town?
No, just the slopes, you know, you've got a couple of places where if it rains a bit, the whole lot of the gravel washes off, leaves big gullies and
I got you.
stuff like that. That would just hold it in place basically, so, you know, it doesn't wash off the road, cause extra work to the town,
yeah.
so forth. And now the other thing is the meters.
The meat,
The meters, or water meters.
yes,
Okay, I'm lost here because, okay, we have electronic meters, we have a digital meters, which is a little handheld device.
right,
The clock on top of the meter, you take the reading. The other one, you drive around in the truck with it in the truck on the dashboard. What that does, it picks up the signal, beep, 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 and that will give you 85 to 90% reads, okay? Now, according to what I'm hearing, these aren't working. Am I correct on that?
That's what we spent Thursday with the Ferguson
Zach.
Waterwork with Zach Furlock,
See, now,
fixing.
I'm going back probably 5, 6 years when we first put the meters in. Zach was down once a week. I don't know how much it costs to down, but, you know, we paid in for his services, obviously. They haven't seemed to fix the problem. So do we keep calling them every time, you know, there's a meter malfunction or something, hoping they can fix it? I mean, I've got 3 or 4 examples where people have been overcharged on their water when they shouldn't be overcharged. That should be a standard flat rate if you can't read the meter. That payment is what it is, it should be. They're not being charged more.
in every instance that I am aware of where there has been, an incorrect reading, according to the, resident, they have gone back and did an eyeball of it versus, using the meters. Okay. Not everybody's, meter reading is incorrect.
No.
But in the instances when the resident comes down to the town and says, look, my meter reading is this, and then in every instance that I'm aware of, the meter has been read by eyeball, and then if there's an adjustment to be made, it is made. But sometimes people report that they haven't had they haven't had an overage. And the next thing we know, going back to 2019, and they've been consistently having overages when we're reading the numbers. But the procedure for that is to come down to the town. We're not, we do make adjustments.
What I mean also is that, you know, I can give you one example of a meter. It's been broke for 7 years. Yet that lady has been overcharged every month for overwater usage. You know, the town can't do that. It's
Okay.
you know, that's like a set charge. I don't know what it is now. I don't pay the bill, so I just give the money to the missus and she does it. But,
Well,
you know, if I say $157 a month,
mhm.
there should be no overage on a broken meter.
Whose account is that?
Huh?
Whose account?
There's one I'll take Sue Sackman, her meter's been broken for 7 years or more. That's a faulty reading. I went down there with
It's been
Zach.
broken that long and it's never been replaced or anything?
No, and, you know, I went down there with Zach and the lady to the town, and they said, no, it's no.
It's been fixed recently.
Has it?
there's a new meter in it or
Oh, I
not. I
think
know
there
that
is.
we've got meter readings on it recently.
Interesting.
And, I was looking at her account today. I talked to her today.
Okay, but that's just one example. There's a lot in there, in town like that.
Why the hell didn't you fix it when you were working for the town?
No tools, no pipes,
No meter tools?
no meter tools. I mean, we do have a big stock of meters down there, electronic meters, but what I'm saying is if they're faulty, why put them in?
Well, that's the thing, our generalities, like Barbara just asked, we need to be specific on each and every one, just like any statement that is made, there needs to be verification. Okay, because you can stand at the top of the hill and cry wolf all you want, but until you see a wolf.
I'm only going on my experience.
I understand, but like Mr. Wold pointed out, if it's been going on that long, that's beyond the purview of current administration, so something should have been done.
I would've thought that would've been addressed a long time ago. I don't know the whole story with that.
It was addressed, but I mean, the only way that was addressed was that Zapp's and the ladies.
I know if it wasn't fixed.
You would get readings on there of pipe interference, broken pipes, that tell you on the
Just about
handles.
different.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are engaged in fixing. This Ferguson Waterworks technician has been here before, and hopefully with this, we have established concrete information being used by the handheld. And then, any errors that have occurred, most certainly would be addressed. Okay. Anything else, sir?
No, thank you, that was one.
All right, Mr. Wold.
A couple things, but probably more for, I don't know if you guys can answer them or not, Paula might need to do that. I was curious if she's gotten any emails back from the attorney on, I don't know if you guys
There's a
even
note
could
in
answer
her,
that, but
in
I
the
have to ask.
report, no,
on
we have not gotten
the other
that.
issues we're addressing and stuff. And then my next question was, has she heard anything back from the people that do the cameras for the sewer lines and stuff like that?
Yes.
Do we have any info on like when they'll be able to come to town and do all this, or?
Yes, he
Where we're
will
at
not
then.
be able to, we're supposed to contact him after the 17th.
Of this month?
Yes.
Okay,
Is that Evergreen, the hymn you're
Yes.
talking about? Okay.
I couldn't remember the name, but thank you, yes, Evergreen. So after the 17th. So I guess we're still kind of basically on hold until that happens.
Yes.
Unfortunately, nobody wants to hear that, but as far as,
I believe there will be something addressed to that.
okay.
Did you have anything else, Mike?
No, that was my main couple things I had for
Sure.
tonight.
Myra?
I don't at this time.
Okay. And those that have signed up, Rose Elkington,
Yeah, I have a statement for the record.
okay?
Last council meeting, I misspoke and I apologize. Last summer, we did have to cut back on water for 2 weeks. But it was not because we didn't have water. Our wells only pump water when the reservoirs need water. When you turn on a faucet or flush a toilet, the wells don't pump. They are not meant to run 24/7. When we had the fire last year, the volume of water being used was high and the wells could not keep up with the demand. They were running 24/7. We had water, the wells just needed to catch up. Running a town is like a business. Sometimes you have to make the hard decisions, to say no and not make decisions based on emotion. Decisions must be made for the town as a whole. That's leadership. 2 weeks ago, you made a decision on one person's agenda. A person that does not even live in this town. You don't represent her, you represent the residents of this town. She cannot even vote for you. So, now the town can't sell water to anyone or any company not based in the county. That means less money to fix the infrastructure. Do you realize that Avista is based in Spokane? That means Avista or CenturyLink can't buy water from us. If they have a project they want to do to improve services for the town and they need water for it, they can't buy it from us. Do you think they will want to do those projects? By the way, did you know Avista was in partnership with the windmill and solar companies for those projects? Did you know our reservoirs were filled during the whole time those projects were being worked on? We only sold non-drinkable water. During the COVID mandates, there was 3 pages of residents that did not pay their water bills. If the town had not sold that water, the town would have been hurting more than it did. Council meetings are not for addressing complaints about employees. Otherwise, who would want to work for this town? Employee complaints should be taken to the town hall. If need be, employee complaints should be discussed during an executive session. That is one of the reasons for an executive session.
Thank you, Rose. For the record. And next on the list, Karen Monroe.
I'll do it next time. New
All right.
information.
She's still getting the bus. Oh, here comes the bus.
Denise Sneed.
Yeah, I'll talk about the ordinance that they voted on, the water ordinance. That should have been put into, I mean, it's not an ordinance yet, it should be put into an ordinance. The vote on the water, not to sell it to other people, should be put in an ordinance. And so should the vote to review everything the mayor does with the attorney. That should be in an ordinance also. If you just leave them in the minutes, they get swept under the rug and forgotten. And I wanted to say also that council creates policy, not Paula Bell, and not the attorney. If council wants to talk to the attorney, they can create the policy that allows council to talk to the attorneys. Granted, they shouldn't all be calling the attorney with the same question. They need to organize a bit, but they should be able to speak to the attorney. What if they have to talk to the attorney about the mayor? That's ridiculous to have to go through the mayor. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Back in last November, in response to talking to the town attorney, you did so.
Yes, sir. I sent them,
And,
I did not speak
excuse
to
me.
him, I emailed him. I did not speak to him, he did not
either
respond.
way, you had unauthorized use of town attorney's services.
Yeah, go ahead,
You
you
were
can
sent a
call it
bill.
anything you want.
It is still not paid.
It will not
Okay.
be paid.
Pardon?
It will not be paid.
Okay,
Any town resident should be able to apprise the attorney of what the truth is on a situation.
okay.
And if Paula had told the
That is not
complete truth,
going to happen.
there wouldn't be an issue.
Well, I think that goes both ways.
Yes, it does. I gave him all the facts of the situation, and if she already had, then there's no
My
issue.
feeling is, why are we paying for your personal contact with him over something?
Well, we can't trust our mayor to tell him, but that's not the issue. The issue is getting the ordinances in so that council, so we need those 2 things put in an ordinance, and council has the right to decide, not Paula Bell and not the attorney, as to whether they talk to an attorney. That's their policy. Council is the boss here, not Paula Bell.
Tell it to Jamie.
Okay. Ordinances are made by the town council.
Yes, they are. And when you
Okay.
vote something, you don't just leave it in the minutes to be lost.
Excuse me, I I don't believe anything is left in the minutes to be lost.
What is the
We are not
plan?
going to have this discussion all night long.
Well, what's the
All right.
plan for the 2 votes? You should be saying to me, yes, it's planned to put them in an ordinance. That's what you should be saying. But
No, ma'am,
anyway, we
I
don't need to
listen
argue
to
it.
you
I've stated
when you
my,
are just stating something that is your opinion, your view. You have nothing to back it up.
sir, you
When you
guys,
do, no, when you do have it, please present it.
you guys
Otherwise-
voted, you made a law, it needs to be put in the ordinances and on the books.
Okay.
You don't vote and just leave it in the minutes.
Referring to what she's talking about when we voted in the water law is what you're referring to.
Yes, and also the law
We will
that,
be,
That will be. an
and the
ordinance.
we
law,
will be putting that into an ordinance.
and the
Just so
law
we're clear.
about
And they
reviewing what
are
the
legal
mayor,
Before they're codified.
pardon me,
I said ordinances are legal before they were codified.
but you still need to put it in the ordinance.
That's fine.
And
but
that's
you-
been 2 weeks ago, so,
In March, you stated that codification was done 4 years ago and that the ordinances were not legal until then.
until they're codified. Well,
No, codification has nothing to do with it.
well, perhaps.
I did.
I don't know about that, Myra. I do know that that is the public's, that's what the
Well,
public
yes, they
looks
can-
at. But you guys, we don't need to go on about every single detail. I need the 2 things put in the
Well,
ordinance.
No, we're
And,
all wrong.
and
but
council needs to
you can
be
say
aware
anything and it's
that it's
correct.
their policy, not Paula Bell's and not the attorney's. That's my points.
I did some legal research.
Your 4 minutes are up. Next on the agenda, Mr. Kramer.
Yeah, we said that we were gonna get some bids for the sewer line issue.
Mm-hmm.
Can we pass these out?
Certainly. Get it ratified.
Sure. So, this is only one, this is all we could get to come down and give us a bid on it so far.
Right.
That's just a ballpark. I'm sure it's pretty high to make sure everything's covered, you know. But, that's where we're at with that. We're still digging around, trying to find any kind of easement, and nobody seems to be able to find one, so.
I spent an hour and a half at the auditor's office today, and we couldn't find anything. We got back to the 70s, and that's as much of a paper trail as we could find in an hour and a half. Yeah, so I put in a couple more phone calls, trying to figure it out. That kind of a thing would be, we fix it all and pay the $50,000, and then the city would assume responsibility of the line afterwards. If you guys wanna get a quote for that, that'd be great, but it's gonna be astronomical price. I mean, this is gonna be a cheaper rate than the city taking ownership beforehand, I guess, basically,
Okay.
I got you.
of that one.
So that gets us, the whole point of this is to get us off of this shared line legally
To make
Right,
it,
so
into a
this-
city line.
I haven't read it word for word running, so is this basically gonna take your line to the cities,
Put them in a manhole in the
to the
street,
manhole, and then
and
you're
then-
not shared line no
and then replace the pipe from that manhole to the alley.
to the main.
Yeah. And then, that was like in the proposal that we gave you guys
Right.
last council,
Right.
was the city assumed that line from the manhole to the alley,
Right.
and that would be a city main, and then all 3 houses come into that main.
Right.
So, I don't know what the ordinance is on being a shared line, or, you know, what that whole,
I unfortunately
Situation is
really
we
don't have
haven't-
a good answer for you, bud, because
Yeah.
there's so much gray, and now they're gonna be bringing in this camera guy, who's gonna, try to run
Right.
cameras to figure out what's going where and everything, and
yeah,
there's just a lot of unknown
right.
right now, unfortunately.
Karen?
You know how many houses that'll cover? I'm in the same spot, hasn't as bad. But that covers the whole town, assumes responsibility of all lines, and there's no more private pay of any lines. I'm 10 years behind on the thousands I have spent on my sewer line, me and the neighbors. So if that's the way and the city assumes it, there's gonna be 10 years back pay on me, because I've been told from everybody that's been in that office that it's my line, who cares? So if you get one person, you
Right.
gotta get it all, because every street is sharing a line.
Right, I understand what you're saying, yeah.
They already
I
did it
don't-
for Eric and Kelsey and Steve though,
Yeah,
so don't forget that one.
Yeah.
They've done it before.
And it's not every street that shares a line.
well,
That lines
so
like
far
that.
not, you know,
Quite a
every
few
other,
streets
whatever.
do.
That's the problem, we don't even know. We don't know where
Yeah.
it
Right.
begins and ends, really, we just, you know.
Okay, just taking your, for instance, okay, the estimate went up to $50,000. There are 240 sewer, residents in the town. Each resident, in order to cover the $50,000, is going to come up with above and beyond the regular water, sewer, garbage, $208.33 for each resident. Now, I'm gonna extrapolate that out to how many incidents like this are going to occur. Okay, there's no money in the budget to
Yeah,
assume
well,
this.
that 50,000, we're not saying that the city's gonna pay for the whole thing.
No.
Yeah, it would be.
Right, this is just a bid, yeah.
Yeah,
Just an estimate.
that's just a bid for the work that we
Okay,
have.
I understand, but
Then why are you saying
You
that
need to
50,000 is
realize-
gonna be split between the whole town of Lynn? That's not what we're getting at.
okay,
The
I
proper way to
understand.
fix this issue is what is all in that email that I gave you guys 2 weeks ago.
right.
That was from the supervisor at Basin. That's the correct way to fix this problem, so nobody's on a shared line. Because that's illegal in itself, right? Did you find that in the ordinance? Did
Yeah.
anybody look?
Nor, you can certainly,
I thought that's why Paula was supposed to be talking to the attorneys and all this stuff.
well, there were other,
She has contacted and he's just not gotten back yet.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be in a real big hurry about it. Meanwhile, we're staying out of our house, you know,
I understand.
so.
Mr. Tomo,
Yes, under code public, we use different ordinance numbers. Okay, repair of obstructed or broken sewers. Whenever any building sewer, side sewer, lateral, or private sewer pipe connected with any public sewer becomes obstructed, broken, or out of order, and the owner, agent, or occupant of such premises fails to repair the same within 5 days after notification by superintendent of public works, the superintendent of the public works is hereby authorized to remove, reconstruct, replace, alter, or clean the same as required at the expense of the owner, agent, or occupant of such premises. When 2 or more houses or buildings are connected with the same private sewer, the owners, agents, or occupants of such premises shall be jointly and equitably liable for any work done at the direction of the superintendent of public works under this section.
You guys, everybody's sewer lines run under the town somewhere. So you're saying everybody has private lines up to a point. That's what
So
you're
it
saying.
connects to the sewer line,
So everybody has private
wherever it
lines.
connects.
So
I do.
you have just screwed everybody out of government money to repair all these lines if they're private lines. So
The city is not in the
we do not. We have the attorney contacted him, and he has not gotten back to us yet. So any information other than what he comes up with is all speculation on whomever's part. Okay, until we get that information back, there's nothing that I gave you what the cost factor is for that repair. Okay,
well, That's
Every other
less than
repair like
any
that.
individual having to pay $50,000.
That is not what was said.
$2, if
Pay
everybody raises it by,
$207 on your school
if
lunch.
everybody has to pay $2.34 or whatever, $2, $5 extra, that's better than any one of us having to pay $50,000 when it happens. Because everybody's on private lines, that's what you're not
You don't
understanding.
understand the concept of what I just said.
I suggest we
It's all right.
either table this, close it, or do something. It's
It's
getting out
fine.
of control.
It's fine.
Okay,
We're gonna have to table it for now because there's too much information we don't have. Or we don't have the answers for.
okay,
Until we hear back from the attorney and the camera guy and.
yeah, until we have some pertinent information that we can act on. Mr. Nelson, when he was here last week, he said there is ways.
Right, but we have
Private.
but we have to wait till we find out. Unfortunately, it's a waiting game at this point, because we need to know, we're gonna find out with the cameras and
Well,
hear back from
the
the
cameras
attorney too.
are the 17th.
Yeah, we got the data, but I mean, and then we're waiting to hear back from the attorney apparently still too, so.
That is correct. But until we do, I don't see a solution other than getting a definitive answer. Once we get that, then we can move forward into what areas we need to move. That was stated last week as well.
And I also suggest that if you're not happy with the attorney's response to your questions, his availability, you might say, you can look into hiring a different attorney.
Well, I'm not trying to open up another can of worms, but that's the problem too, because we don't know until we're told what the
Exactly.
attorney's saying or what the
More
response is.
information, that's what we need, a lot more information.
That's true, but what I'm saying is that if this attorney keeps brushing you off, brushing you aside,
Right.
you can always look for another attorney. You don't have to go with the one that we have.
Okay. With that,
Brushing us off.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second that.
okay, all in favor?